A lot of things that we can do from here if we need to get the submission, right? I like that chin strap because you have your 10-finger guillotine. I'm sure Coach Anthony has showed you that. It's like one of his favorite submissions. Don't tell him I told you that. And it's really good. It's a really good submission. You know, you can hit your anacondas, you can hit your darces, you can just come here, bam, you're right here, you go ahead and hit your guillotine, right? I mean, there's all kinds of stuff that you can do from this position. But because we're trying to get to the back to listen to the truck, I want you guys to go behind, okay? If you're getting an arm that's draped over, yes, you can go for submissions. The problem is I haven't established any control here yet. And your position can get reversed very easily when we're over the shoulder. So I like to stay here on my opponents. Establish a good position first before I start to attack for my submission. And again, that's saying I have time. 10 seconds left, 20 seconds left. Yeah, you're just gonna go right for the submission. Now, this is where things get a little complicated. We have a couple of different types of hooks, right? You guys are probably familiar with just like throw your hooks in. Well, in reality, there are different hooks. The one that we're gonna show you today is a deep hook, okay? Some people will call it a double hook. Deep hook is the best way I like to describe it, because a shallow hook would be just my heel to the inside of his thigh. That's a shallow hook. A deep hook, and you guys might want to come around to the back over here. A deep hook is when my shin ends up coming over the top of his calf. You see the difference there? That movement is very difficult. And people are like, oh man, I can't get to this. And they have to grab their own foot and put it over the top. So I'm gonna show you first, how do we get to that deep hook and make it easy? The first part is, where do you put your foot? If when I'm throwing my hook in, my hook is way out here, you're probably gonna have a hard time getting the deep hook in. I like to really shoot my foot all the way in. Now I'm gonna replace my foot with my knee. So as my foot comes out, my knee goes down. Then I put all my weight on my knee where my foot can lift, and I turn my body. Shallow hook positions are all parallel. So in other words, let me show you this from my back. Shallow hook positions are parallel, okay? Deep hook positions are going to be perpendicular, okay? So as soon as I throw that deep hook in, I have to go to what we call a crossbody. I don't want to be here. You're gonna get thrown off, or you're gonna get put to your hip. I wanna get my body perpendicular once I get my deep hook in. So my foot comes in, my knee replaces my foot. Now notice, his foot, my foot, his foot. How do I get this over the top of his calf? Don't grab it. Put your weight forward, so now all the weight's on my knee. It's like a pivot point. So now when I put my weight on my knee, I can come right over the top. Does everybody see that? Once we get to this position, I have to cross body. I have to go behind him. I have a couple of different ways I can grab. For beginners, this is great, but it has the least amount of leverage, okay? I can grab around the knee, which I like the best, but sometimes it's a little hard if he's hiding, his laces are on the mat. It's a little hard to get underneath that. Or I can take a meat hook, which might actually be a preferable technique for you guys. Now, for me to lift his hips, I have to get his weight forward. If he's sitting down, like Eli was in a match this weekend, and the kid tried to do this to him, he couldn't turn Eli because Eli sat his weight back. If the kid would have known to bump him forward, then he probably would have been able to take him back. Okay? And that's a pin right there in wrestling. Believe it or not, this is a pinning position. So we got to get our partner's weight forward once we get this deep hook. I like to, and this is if you can't get this, it's fine. But I like to come on over. Do you notice where Jackson's foot is and where my foot is? There's almost this little triangle. So I like to take this leg, my supporting leg, which a lot of people will tell you just to drive forward, drive them forward, drive them forward. I like to actually put it here. Do you notice how I'm crossing my ankles? So now when I bump him forward and I bring him back, I'm in my super hook. Okay? I'm in the super hook position. Now, I'm gonna tell you, you guys are always thinking about, 99% of the people think about this hook and extending it. If you do that, you're gonna lose the foot. Don't think about that. This leg, the one closer to you, is actually the one extending, not this hook. Just lay that hook there, extend your body. How's that feel, Jax?
Not very comfortable.
Not very comfortable at all. And we're gonna sit right in this banana split position. You can hug the knee, you can keep your meat hook, whatever you want. Right now, just try to get to that truck position. That's the truck position. And I want my body underneath his hips. So we're just gonna practice that because you need to get there before we can do our finishes, okay? Let's do it. 1, 2, 3.